Split out wide to the right at the bottom of your screen. Empty backfield on first down, and this is Patterson makes the catch. And Patterson involved on the first play from scrimmage. Patterson picking up 16 yards on the first 2 plays. Here is Algier across midfield. Another Atlanta first down still going. Tyler Algier is finally brought down at the Chargers' 15-yard line. He gains 44.
And there's Pitts at the top.
The give is to Patterson, and he is in for a Falcons touchdown in his return after missing 4 games. 3rd down and 2. Eckler in motion. Herbert has the pass batted back. So the Chargers on their opening possession go 3 and out. Rashaan Evans getting a piece of it. Huntley remains in. 2nd down and 5. Fake to Huntley. Mariota complete. Kyle Pitts, the tight end, picks up a first down. New set of downs from the Chargers 47. Play fake. Drake London makes the catch. Another Falcons first down.
Wide receiver screens, he can do it all.
Fake to Patterson. Mariota looking downfield. Can't find anyone. Takes off. And has another Falcons first down.
They're looking to stay in this shell defense for the Chargers.
3rd down and 5. Mariota's pass is caught by Drake London, and he had enough to pick up the first.
Red quarters. All 4 guys, they're going to match zone this.
3rd down and 11. It's Williams makes the catch, but he'll be wrapped up just shy of the 10-yard line. Under a minute to go, first quarter. Right down the middle in the second quarter. So the Chargers look to turn the page from the 33-yard line. Herbert wrapped up, gets rid of it. Pass incomplete. Falcons must get to the 41. Mariota under pressure, and down he goes. It's Tranquil who takes down Mariota, and the Falcons will punt it away.
And they may pop out, they may blitz.
Chargers need to get to the 27-yard line, and they do. Their first down of this game. Joshua Palmer makes the catch as the Chargers move the chains. The Chargers need the 47-yard line. Herbert throws complete. Once again, it is Palmer, his 2nd straight.
Coming to life as the #1 receiver today.
Without Keenan Allen and Mike Williams today, Herbert complete. Another first down. It's Eckler. So now the Chargers getting into a rhythm. 3rd down and 9. Herbert steps up, fires to the outside, make it 7 for his last 7. It goes to number 7, Gerald Everett.
I could see a free release from Austin Eckler if they want to. He's going to have that opportunity.
Instead, Herbert goes the other way, and they convert. It's Bandy who makes the catch.
He does a tremendous job.
He's only been sacked 10 times over the first 7 games. Here's Eckler, and he takes it all the way down to the Falcons 1. 2 tight ends, an extra offensive lineman, and a fullback. Here's Eckler, and he walks it in for his 9th touchdown in the last 5 games. 3rd down and 3. Mariota under pressure, and he is sacked once again. This time it's Derwin James. Herbert backpedals, throws. Pass is caught. Eckler knocked out of bounds by Lorenzo Carter. Chargers have converted 5 of 7 3rd down attempts. Must get to the 41. And they do, as Carter breaks free and takes it all the way to the Atlanta 21-yard line. DeAndre Carter with a pickup of 23.
Almost took those 2 hits, instead gets a nice first down.
Now on the draw, first down for Michel, down to the Atlanta 11.
Extra yards.
From the 11-yard line, Herbert near side. Diving forward is Carter. Did not get to the end zone.
Rushing Herbert's throw.
Now with 3 wide receivers, Herbert rolling right, throws, Eckler, touchdown. So the pattern continues. We've had only scoring drives or 3 and outs on both sides today.
That's all we do, baby. That's all we do, Kenny.
From the 32, Falcons take over. Algier, as the Falcons look to reestablish that running game that we saw in the first quarter. 3rd down and 8. Mariota, Zacchaeus makes the catch for a Falcons first down in Chargers territory. Patterson in the backfield.
And you see Patterson right behind him. That's that pistol formation.
From the 38, here's Patterson, first down, still going. Inside the 10 to the end zone. There is a flag.
Caleb McGarry, he's the right tackle. And he goes to cut, and that kickback, right, he didn't even need to do it, man.
Forces the Falcons back to the 48-yard line. First down and 20, fake to Algier. Mariota throws, and it is caught. Cordero Hodge makes the play. In the red zone, 1st and 10, 19-yard line, it's Algier.
Ooh.
And he takes it all the way down to the 11-yard line. 2nd down and 2. Mariota complete. London. And then the ball's taken away. London had it stripped. And it's brought back across the 40. And finally taken down at the 50-yard line. What a play.
To change that series.
3rd down and 8. Herbert over the middle, deflected and picked off. So the Falcons get it right back, intercepted by Richie Grant. Zacchaeus in motion. Mariota fake the handoff, finds his tight end Pitts, who picks up an Atlanta first down.
Yeah, haven't seen that in a while. A true run-pass option, RPO as they call it.
1st and 10, 26-yard line. Caleb Huntley. And Huntley with the push is close to another Atlanta first down. Now in the backfield, 3rd and goal. Zacchaeus in motion. Here's Patterson, reaches across. His 2nd touchdown today. 6 straight incompletions for Herbert. 3rd down and 10. Herbert moving to his left. Now he throws. Pass is caught, but not enough. Palmer made the catch, but the Chargers will punt it away. Richie Grant came up to make the play. Algier on first down, looks to cut to the outside, broke a tackle, and is finally brought down after a gain of 8 by Kenneth Murray. Falcons approaching 200 yards on the ground. Mariota couldn't find anyone, spins out of trouble, and now dumps it off, and it's another first down and much more for Algier. So Mariota makes something out of nothing. He was almost brought down. 3rd down and 8, Zacchaeus in motion. Mariota steps up, then fires downfield through the hands of Pitts. The season high is 54. This is from the left hash. And the former Charger coup misses wide to the right.
Catch the Falcon defense off guard.
Herbert over the middle, complete to Carter.
Let's see if the Falcons can get more pressure this time around.
Herbert on 3rd down. What a tackle.
Yep, no one ruled him down.
But there was one look, the last look we showed, that showed the left elbow right there, touching the ground.
There it is.
That puts Eckler down by contact.
And now on 4th and 4, Chargers go for it. Herbert's pass is caught by Carter to extend this drive.
I'm not going to let him roll on top of me and have a half touchdown, half not touchdown.
2nd and 8. Palmer makes the catch and hangs on. 21-yard pass play. 3rd and goal from the 13. Herbert moving to his left. Now throws through the back of the end zone, looking for Everett. There's Cameron Dicker. 31-yard attempt from the left hash. Ties the game. Hoping his offense gets another chance. 2nd down and 8. Mariota pulled it in. Now fires downfield for Pitts. Just out of his reach. 7 of 14 today. On 3rd down. Herbert's pass is caught. And the Chargers able to move the chain. Dicker wondering if he will have an opportunity for a game winner. 2nd down and 5. Pass caught by Palmer for a Chargers 1st down. 4th quarter. 17 apiece. 2nd and 10. Herbert over the middle. Complete. Everett. 1st down Chargers. To the Falcons. 28-yard line. Bandy goes in motion.
There it is. That's the run play.
Inside the 20. Falcons say Eckler was not ruled down. Ball comes loose again. Wow. The big question will be, was he ruled down at the 19?
You can see the ball is starting to come loose as the knee hits. Now remember, the ruling on the field was a fumble, and that's the key. Is it clear and obvious to overturn? It's so close. To me, I would let this stand.
So the Chargers lose 24 yards on the 2 fumbles. And now this pass is caught back in field goal range as Palmer makes the play. Dicker, in his Chargers debut, is the hero. Herbert celebrates. Chargers win it 20-17.